relationship, not just to an individual, but to life, is what becomes possible as consciousness seems to constrict itself to a body. It makes available relationship. So relationship is something that can only happen on the relative level. The absolute level, pure consciousness, is like deep sleep, can experience it directly from this point of view. Yeah, the relationship tenets point us to the absolute from the relative level. And that's another way of saying point us to God. You know, you may have heard before, only relationship that we actually have is a relationship with God. And what does that mean? If everything in reality is made of and exists within awareness and consciousness, then I am only relating to God. But of course, I can only relate to God from this perspective. From the dreamer who's asleep, there is no separation within the dream. It's all made of dream stuff. It's all one thing contained within a dream. So from that level, there's no inner relating. There's just one expression that is changing and modulating, or seeming to, at least from our perspective. So the tenets show us where we have forgotten who we are. We've forgotten God, if you wish to use that terminology. And where we forget God, we suffer. Where we forget who we are, we suffer. And typically when we forget who we are, we reach and go to the other person to find who we think we are, to find what we think we're missing. So if I'm in a state of forgetfulness and I'm not taking that to inquiry, then I will default into my conditioning. You know, if I'm feeling alone, sad, rejected, unsettled, whatever it might be, and I don't go in the opposite direction of thousands of years before me of coping and addiction and whatnot, distraction, I will default to my conditioning. And my conditioning says, just go find the one, go have sex, go get this person to love you in all the right ways, and then you'll be happy. And it's the happiness that is yourself. The abiding within yourself is the state of happiness, meaning the end of seeking. The end of seeking and abiding as pure consciousness, as presence, as being, are the same thing. So the seeking, when the seeking comes online, it forgets that you forget. The ego confuses, is confusion, and will say, no, your happiness is in him, in her, in this outcome, in this receiving this form of validation, whatever it might be. And then the attempt to go get it makes you feel like you don't have it. So when I look for it, I leave it. And so when the looking ceases, you are filled with what you are looking for. And that's the effortless path. The path of effort is, let me create the outcomes, the circumstances, the right people, the perfect body, the best health, and then I will be happy and free. The effortless path is questioning, on whose behalf are those thoughts arising on? Is that really me in there saying, you should do that, you need to do this and create this outcome and have this future to be peaceful and happy and free? Is that me in there? Or is that conditioning? And when you can separate, that's the first step, separate yourself from your conditioned mind and body. You can begin to see that that's not you. There's no entity in there called Brandon thinking those thoughts, feeling those things. That entity in of itself is a creation, is a thought, is an image on screen of mind. It's not its own autonomous entity, separate from life, located in a body. That's what it seems like. And that is the ego. That's why we say believing you're the body. Body identification is the same as believing you are the ego. And since the ego is believed into or as a body and mind, it has to take on all of the limits of body and mind. Temporary, finite, can die, born in time, end in time. And that's why it hurts to seek, because we are imposing a limitation on ourselves. And that feels like disconnection, loneliness, separation, seeking, suffering. So again, before I go into the tenets are 5 pointers back to yourself, specifically in the context of relationship with an intimate or romantic partner.